to the sun.
Before I begin, I just want to say that I'm sorry if I sound really stuffy in this video. I am currently sick, so, yeah, excuse me. Anyway, okay, let's see what happens here, because I don't know what to say.
Janos chuckled at the ceiling. Luthor took a deep breath and walked over to Janos' bedside. He looked at Janos. Janos looked at Luthor and gave Luthor a big goofy grin. Janos looked at Luthor and gave Luthor a big goofy grin. Drool came down the side of the king's mouth. I couldn't have done this to you. Luthor dug his nail into his palm until he started to bleed.
Oh my gosh, don't do that.
Wake up, Luthor. Wake up, Luthor. You couldn't have done this. You stopped yourself from testing your cure on Lieutenant Zone Valdor. You were afraid of the side effects. You were afraid of the side effects. You were afraid of hurting someone. You're Luthor Timecrest. You're Luthor Timecrest. You aren't capable of hurting someone like this. Janos chuckled. Alvin. He must have tricked me in some way. This is probably the reason why my future self gave up the pocket watch.
Yeah, that is definitely plausible, because, like you're saying, I don't know how your future self could have done this, like, there's just no way. Like, there's no way that something, no matter what it is, could have driven you to do this to Janos. Like, no matter how much you wanted to get out of the quarantine zone, there's no way that you would have done that. Like,
Luthor hit the side of his head with his hand.
oh my gosh, don't do that. Please, don't.
Remember how it happened, Luthor. Luthor hit the side of his head again. You didn't do this. Luthor hit the side of his head again.
Oh, don't do that.
Alvin manipulated you. Janos continued to chuckle. Luthor took out the pocket watch and held it by the chain in front of King Janos. You have to be there, Janos. I'm still here. At Timecrest. You fear Timecrests. You fear Timecrests. You want to get rid of all of Alvin's descendants. Someone like you wouldn't just give up so easily without finishing your mission. Luthor let his arm holding up the pocket watch drop to his side. Luthor let his arm holding up the pocket watch drop to his side. The pocket watch swung as Luthor looked down at the ground. Snap out of it, Janos. You have to, because you're one of the strongest people I know. We need to work together to win against Alvin. I need your help. So please don't leave me alone with Alvin. Luthor took a few deep breaths. Luthor took a few deep breaths. His hands were shaking and the pocket watch continued to sway with his trembling. Janos chuckled louder.
This is looking really bad. This is looking really bad. I don't know how to help. Like, I want to help him, but like, I don't know what to do. Like, there must be some way to cure Janos, right? Like,
Shut up. Alvin isn't right about me. I'm not capable of destroying Valdor because I'm not capable of hurting people. Janos chuckled louder. Luthor grabbed Janos by the clothes and shook him.
oh my,
Shut up. You deserve this.
what?
If you hadn't taken away my freedom.
No, don't start saying that though. No,
Janos chuckled even louder.
he doesn't deserve that.
Luthor punched Janos,
Oh my
knocking him
God.
out.
What? Are you okay? Are you okay, Luthor?
Janos' chuckling stopped.
What the?
Luthor stared at his own fist in shock. He shook his head as if he didn't recognize his own hand. Blood dripped down from the corner of Janos' mouth. Luthor backed away from Janos' bed. System message. Luthor is waiting. Janos got what was coming to him. This isn't your fault, Luthor. One of two seems like you need to accept that you're capable of such things. Two of two
Oh my gosh! Guys, no, I don't want to pick any of these. I don't want to pick any of these because, like, Janos doesn't deserve this. But then again, like, Luthor, I don't know how Luthor could have done this. Like, I don't know what to do.
Janos got what was coming to him. This isn't your fault, Luthor.
I don't know what to pick, guys, because, like,
Seems like you need to accept that you're capable of such things. Two of two
oh my gosh, no. I wish there was a third option, please. I don't want to say any of these. I guess I'll pick the second one. Oh my gosh, I feel bad.
Seems like you need to accept that you're capable of such things.
I don't know if he is though, because like, okay, he kind of flipped out. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that was a bit harsh punching him, but like, I don't think he's capable of turning Janos into this, I don't know, like, person?
Responded, seems like you need to accept that you're capable of such things. Luthor eyed the open pocket watch he still held by the chain in his hand. Luthor eyed the open pocket watch he still held by the chain in his hand. Luthor swallowed hard. Luthor closed the pocket watch. System message, connection lost. 23 hours 59 minutes 36.
Honestly, I don't blame him. I would have said something else, I would have, but like, I don't know what I could have said. Oh, guys, no, like, I don't know, I don't even know what to say, like, no one deserves anything in this situation. Luthor didn't deserve to be locked up. Luthor didn't deserve to lose all his memories. Janice does not deserve to be lying there like this. And I don't know. Like, I don't know what to think anymore. Like, everything is just going wrong. Like, this like, timeline was supposed to be better, but everything is just going completely and utterly wrong. Like, I don't know. Hopefully Luthor can find a cure or something. I don't know.
2 weeks passed.
2 weeks? It's only been a day in the... What? How could 23 hours be 2 weeks? Okay, well... Anyway, that is a while. That is actually a while. I'm worried.
The pocket watch clicked open. Luthor and Ash sat on a plush couch in the waiting area of a jewelry store. Expensive-looking jewelry sparkled inside well-lit display cases. All display cases had labels that said, "Not for sale."
Oh, wow.
A neatly dressed young woman came out from behind a door, carrying a tray with fancy-looking cups. She approached Luthor and Ash, setting the cups down on the table in front of the couch. The young woman said, "We have some tea and chocolate for you while you wait for us as we retrieve the ring. Master Timecrest."
Tea and chocolate? That is so fancy? Oh my, how expensive is this? Oh my gosh.
The teacups glittered with jewels and gold trimmings. The
Wow.
pieces of chocolate had the jewelry store logo carved into them.
Isn't chocolate, like, really rare as well? Like, oh my gosh.
Ash blinked and said, "How much does this tea and chocolate cost?"
Yeah,
"It looks fancy."
exactly. Like,
The young woman said, "These treats are complimentary."
okay, this is some fancy place if this is complimentary.
Ash said, "Holy Muffy, ellipsis. You mean we get this for free? Even the chocolate?" The young woman nodded and said, "Even the chocolate."
Wow.
Ash picked up the delicate teacup ever so carefully and took a sip. Ash said, "MHMMM, ellipsis." Ash picked up the chocolate and ate it. Ash said, "MHMMM." After a moment, Ash sunk down into the couch and said, "MHMMM, so smooth and creamy." "You can have my chocolate, Ash."
Oh, wow.
Ash said, "No, no, please, you have to try it, brother. It's so good." Luthor picked up the chocolate and ate it. "Pretty good." The young woman said, "Would you like me to bring out more chocolate? Can you pack up some chocolate for us instead?" She said, "Of course. I'd be happy to do that for you, Master Timecrest." Ash said, "Why are you asking her to pack up the chocolates, brother?" "So you can share the chocolates with A, C, and Allison."
Oh yeah, that's such a good idea.
Ash's eyes widened. Ash said, "Oh, you sure know me well, brother, ellipsis. I would love to do that." The young woman said, "I'll be sure to pack lots." Ash turned to her and said, "Thank you so much." Luthor smiled at the young woman. "Are you by chance related to the owner?" The young woman grinned and said, "Yes, Jace is my brother." "I see.
Oh,
That's
wow.
why you remind me of him." Jace's sister looked at Luthor and Ash and said, "Are you two related as well?" "Ash and I are siblings too." Jace's sister nodded and said, "I can't tell. Even though you look different, you both have beautiful violet eyes and a kind smile."
Aw.
Ash blushed. "Can you tell your brother how grateful I am he could fulfill my request? I know he had to push back the delivery dates of his work for other customers because of me."
What on earth was he doing?
Jace's sister said, "Of course." Jace's sister said, "Of course. And my brother wants you to know that he had a lot of fun making the ring for you."
Ring?
She said, "Most of his customers just want to own one of his designs as a trophy. But you wanted to make someone else happy and he was very moved by that." As she said this, her hands touched the sparkling necklace around her neck. She wore a pearlescent shell with some elegantly placed jewels along its ridges. Ash said, "Did your brother make that necklace for you?" Jace's sister beamed and said, "He did. As kids, we would spend a lot of time looking for shells by the water. This is the first shell we found together and I never realized he saved it. But that's my brother Jace for you. He's super sweet."
Oh, that is sweet. He just kept a shell and made it into a necklace for her. That is so sweet.
"Master Crane called your brother the best jewelry craftsman in Valencia. I'm glad I took his recommendation. Your brother seems very passionate about what he does."
Wow.
Jace's sister beamed proudly and said, "This is his life." She paused before saying, Master Timecrest, can I ask you a question?" "Sure." Jace's sister said, this may sound like out of nowhere, but do you know why the quarantine zones were suddenly abolished?
That is random. Why is she asking that?
Luthor froze for a bit. He dug a nail into his palm.
Yeah, this is not a good time to ask that. I don't think Luthor... yeah.
Jace's sister said, I've always just been so curious about why Valdor let humans go all of a sudden.
Why is she asking Luthor of all people? Like, and also, like, why now? Like, that's so... what?
Ash shot a worried look at Luthor. Are you human? Jace's sister said, yes. Both my brother and I lived in Valdor's quarantine zones when they were still around. Not in... Jace's sister said, yes. Both my brother and I lived in Valdor's quarantine zones when they were still around. Not in the same one as you and your family. But we heard that your father, Julius, had close relations with the Valdorian king. She said, I'm just wondering if you or your father might know what that Valdorian king was thinking.
Oh, because they knew Janos or whatever. Still, though, it's kind of random to ask, and also, I don't think Luthor wants to answer, honestly. I think you should... I don't know.
Jace's sister said, Valdorians quarantined humans because they thought we started the Valdorian disease. But there were still reports of people falling ill to the Valdorian disease even after Valdor abolished the zones. Jace's sister scrunched up her face and said, I just don't get what they were doing. Luthor lowered his gaze. Did you enjoy life in the quarantine zone? Jace's sister shook her head vehemently. She almost spat when she said, unlike some humans that were in the zone with us, I hated it. She lowered her gaze and said, my brother tried to take his own life because the Valdorians wouldn't let him have all the parts and materials he needed to make the jewelry he was thinking of.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, that's horrible!
Ash's eyes widened. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Oh my... wow.
Jace's sister said, I'm sorry. I've said too much. Jace's sister said, I'm sorry. I've said too much. I always do that. Ellipsis. It's okay, but I'm afraid I don't know why King Janos let everyone out. Jace's sister looked disappointed. She said, oh well. I guess we'll never find out the truth. Huh? Valdorians took away our freedom for what? Ash said, but at least we got out, right? That's what matters. Jace's sister took a deep breath. She smiled and said, you're right. My brother and I are much happier now that we're both free to live our lives. That's what matters. Luthor paused and smiled. Luthor paused and smiled. Ash's worried expression faded. I'm happy for both you and your brother. Jace's sister smiled and said, my brother is also very happy and impressed that you went to all his customers who had their orders delayed, apologized to them personally and offered them gold for the inconvenience.
Oh wow. Yeah, that is... wow. Like, I can't believe he did that.
She said, you didn't need to do that since it was my brother's decision to delay other work orders to work on yours, Master Timecrest. Ash said, wow, brother, that's really thoughtful.
Yeah.
Ellipsis. It's nothing. It's nothing. I'm the reason people's orders got delayed, so if they want to be angry at someone, it should be me. But it all worked out. Most of the customers accepted my apology and many of them didn't even take the gold. Instead,
Oh my gosh.
but it all worked out. Most of the customers accepted my apology and many of them didn't even take the gold. Instead, all they asked for was to have lunch with me.
What? I mean, I guess you are a master, but that's kind of strange.
Jace's sister winked and said, Princess Riley is a very lucky woman, Master Timecrest. I'm sure she'll get many compliments on the ring you have made for her.
Oh, it's for Riley! Of course it is. Okay, that makes way more sense. I was kind of confused about that, I'm not gonna lie. And that is such a nice thing to do as well. Like, he's given her a ring? Like, is he gonna propose and all? Oh my god.
She said, please enjoy the tea and chocolates. I'm going to go check on my brother to see if he has finished saying goodbye to the ring. Once he's done, I'll package the ring and bring it out.
Saying goodbye?
Luthor nodded.
Okay.
She bowed and retreated back behind a door. Luthor took a deep breath. He looked down at the pocket watch in his hand. He looked down at the pocket watch in his hand. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
Ash peered over and smiled brightly at the pocket watch. Ash said, hello. Thank you for saving us from the Chrysalis.
Oh,
I'm
thank
so glad
you.
my brother kept the pocket watch open in the ice skate. Luthor lowered his gaze. I'm sorry again that I lied and said I didn't have the watch. Ash said, there's no need to apologize, brother. You already explained. Ash said, there's no need to apologize, brother. You already explained. You only lied to me so I wouldn't have to lie for you if the head guild master Crane asked about the pocket watch. Ash said, and he did ask me, so you made that talk very easy for me. Luthor smiled. Thanks for understanding, Ash. Ash grinned before saying, thank you for introducing me to a time mage, brother. Ash looked at the pocket watch and said, and thank you again for saving us all with your time magic. I wish I was. Ash grinned before saying, thank you for. Ash looked at the pocket watch and said, and thank you again for saving us all with your time magic. I wish I was awake when you froze time. Though.
Oh my god.
Ash looked at the pocket watch and said, and thank you again for saving us all with your time magic. I wish I was awake when you froze time. Though. I'd probably be frozen by your magic anyways. Ellipsis.
Yeah, true.
System message. Yay. I'm so happy to see Ash is okay. I'm just glad I was able to help against the Chrysalis. 1 of 6.
Yeah.
Are you okay now having Ash around when the pocket watch is open? 2 of 6. Did Ash tell anyone else about my amazing powers? 3 of 6. You shut me out for 2 whole weeks, didn't you, Luthor? 4
That's
of
a
6
bit
response.
commanding
It's
now.
been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks. It was only 24 hours for me. 5 of 6.
I could say that, but I want to be more assuring.
Tell me more about this fancy jewelry store, Luthor. How expensive was the ring you bought and why are you getting it for Riley? 6 of. It's
Crying,
Are you
crying.
yay, sis? Ash, look, sis.
You know what? I feel like I don't want to push myself, if that makes any sense. Like, I feel like Luthor doesn't really want to talk or whatever. So
Yay! I'm so happy to see Ash is okay. I'm just glad I was able to help against the
I mean,
Chrysalis.
no, obviously
What-
Luthor wants to talk because he opened the pocket watch, right? But like, I don't want to, because he's definitely unsure about the pocket watch now that like he found out what he found out. So like, I don't want to make it
Yay!
harder for him than it has to be. So I'm just gonna say the first one.
Yay! I'm so happy to see Ash is okay. Responded.
Because I am. Like, I'm happy I could help, and I am happy. I'm really happy that Ash is alive still, and is okay completely, you know? Like,
Luthor looked at Ash.
miracle.
My counterpart is happy to see you're okay, Ash. Ash blushed a little. Ash blushed a little and said, "Oh, your counterpart sounds like such a nice person, brother." Ash grinned and said, "Though I think I'm just stating the obvious at this point." Luthor smiled. Luthor looked down at the pocket watch. His smile faded and he looked sad.
I'm sorry.
Ash said, "Are you okay, brother?" "I'm fine. I just have some things I need to say to my counterpart."
Okay, for once I have absolutely no ideas what he could possibly want to say.
Ash said, do you want a moment alone with your counterpart, brother? I can't wait outside the store." Luthor shook his head. "No. Stay, Ash. My counterpart and you are the only 2 people I trust."
Oh, thanks.
Ash nodded as Luthor returned his attention to the pocket watch.
Well, I'm glad you still trust me, I guess. Like, I don't know. Like, things have just been going so wrong.
I have been avoiding contacting you ever since my last visit to Valdor.
Yeah.
I know just closing the pocket watch and shutting you out is an unfair thing for me to do. I've criticized the Masters for being unfair to you and now I'm doing the same thing. Luthor gave the pocket watch a squeeze. Not to mention, you saved Ash and me back in the ice skate. But I've decided to live out my life in this future, which means it's time for me to put the pocket watch behind me.
Really? Okay. Okay, guys, I know this is really, like, selfish, basically, but, like, I know that the things that he's seen and heard and everything, experienced, I know they're really, really, like, bad, unfair, should not have happened, confusing, and just overall are really, like, horrible, okay? Horrible. But still, like, it's just kind of sad, you know? Like, we've kind of become, like, friends, and now he just, you know, I don't know.
Ash's eyes widened, but didn't interrupt. If I stay in this future, my parents, Valdor, will all be okay. There are no quarantine zones. Here, I'm free from Valdor and from Alvin. And after seeing King Janos, after almost helping to kill Adriel Tidal, Luthor sighed. I just don't know if I can trust myself anymore.
I mean, to be fair, you don't know what exactly happened, though, like...
And after seeing King Janos, after almost helping to kill Adriel Tidal, I just...
Okay,
Luthor sighed.
the thing is, right? Like, Janos, you don't know what exactly happened. You don't know if that was you who did that. And if it was, say it really was you who did that, you don't know what drove you to that. Like, it must have been a really major reason, as you were saying. Like, okay, it doesn't justify what you did. But, like, surely there's something you can do, right? Like, it's not like this is how you have to live now. It could be reversible, you know? Like, there's still, like, options out there. And besides, like, the whole thing with Adriel, like, you had no other choice. It was either he dies or you die, you know? Like, it's not your fault. So,
I just don't know if I can trust myself anymore.
it's not your fault, though. Like, it's really not your fault. You shouldn't have to worry about not trusting yourself. You should just do what's right.
Luthor paused. I'm planning to hand the watch over to Oliver.
Okay, again, I can't stop him. This is his life. This is his decision. He wants to talk to me. He doesn't want to talk to me, right? But, like, I don't know. I don't know if this is the right thing to do. Like, I don't know. Guys, I don't want him to do this, okay? I'm gonna be very honest. I don't want him to do this. I don't think that giving up the pocket watch, just like I said the last time when talking about the Masters, I don't think giving up the pocket watch is gonna fix anything. Like, if me and Luthor both want to stop Alvin, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like we both have, like, our respective powers. We both know more than anyone else. Like, Ash knows, right? But, like, me and Luthor, right? We are, like, the go-between. So we could, like, genuinely, like, I don't know, sort stuff out. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I just don't want this to happen.
Ash's eyes widened. Ash said, "What? When? Soon. Oliver is letting me say goodbye to my counterpart before he starts his guard over the watch. It's for the best. He'll be another barrier between me and Alvin."
Yeah, but...
Luthor looked down at the pocket watch. "I want you to know that I'm not giving up the watch because of what people are saying. I'm not giving up the watch because of Oliver. Even though he is supposed to be my best friend, I don't have any memories of our friendship. So I don't see him as my friend. Not yet anyways." Ash's gaze lowered. "I believe you're here to help me no matter what other people say. But I just can't trust myself anymore."
What does the watch have to do with that, though? Like, I'm confused because I don't know what you're saying exactly. Like, I understand that you can't... Well, you're saying that you can't trust yourself anymore, which I think you can. You just... I don't know. But, like, what's the watch have to do with that, you know?
"And I need some time away from the pocket watch."
I mean, if you say so, I guess.
Luthor paused again. "What do you think?"
Oh my gosh, don't ask for my input.
System
Oh
message.
my
Luthor is
gosh.
waiting.
I don't know. I don't know.
"I agree with you. From my timeline, you do destroy Valdor and your parents are dead, so I get why you're afraid. One of six obviously, I want to continue this connection, but I understand your choice.
Yeah.
I'm just sad that my journey as your counterpart is ending."
Yeah.
2 of 6 response.
That's what I feel. That's what I feel, guys, because, like, I don't want this to happen. Like, oh my gosh. I don't like this.
"Thanks for asking me, but it seems like your mind is already made up." 3 of 6
I could say that.
I don't agree with what you're doing. I saved your life. I could continue to be a big help to you. 4 of 6, I'm mad that you're shutting me out. 5 of, what if you're playing into Alvin's plans? What if he wants us to stop talking? 6 of,
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I do not.
Obviously,
I don't want to whine, but then again, like...
I agree with you. Obviously, I want to continue this connection, but I understand your choice. I'm just sad that my journey is your... Thanks for asking me, but it seems like your mind is already made up. 3 of, what descriptive... What if you're playing into Alvin's plan?
Okay, I don't think he's doing the last one. I don't... Because I don't see how us not talking is going to benefit Alvin at all, since, like, he's part of the pocket watch thing, so...
Thanks for asking me, but obviously...
I don't know. I feel like I either want to pick the second one or the third one, because, like...
Thanks for asking me, but it seems like your mind is already made up.
I don't know. I feel like the
agree with what
second
you're
one is
doing.
more like... The second one is more like I guess...
Thanks for asking me, but it
No,
seems
I guess I'll pick the second one.
I agree with you. Obviously,
I guess I'll pick the second one because it's more what I'm feeling, which is kind of despairing right now, like...
messages.
No, guys, why?
Responded, obviously, I want to continue this connection, but I understand your choice. I'm just sad that my journey as your counterpart is ending. Thank you for understanding.
I mean, I kind of understand. I guess I understand.
I want to continue our connection too if it weren't for Alvin.
True.
I said I didn't believe in fate, but at this moment, I'm glad it connected me to you. When we spoke with Alvin, you confirmed I did destroy Valdor. But even so, I didn't believe I was capable of killing an entire empire at the time. After King Janos, after Adriel, I started thinking maybe Alvin is right.
He's not, though. Like, if you look inside yourself, right? Do you really think you have the potential of killing thousands? Like, even with King Janus, you were probably, even if you did do this, and the only reason you had was to get humans out of the quarantine zone, you were probably just trying to do the right thing, right? Like, there's no way you could genuinely kill thousands and thousands of people. There's no way.
After King Janus, maybe I am capable of hurting others in horrific ways.
You're not!
Ash placed one hand on Luthor's arm. Ash placed one hand on Luthor's arm. Ash said, I don't believe you're capable of hurting others on purpose. Brother, ellipsis. You were just defending us against Adriel Tybal.
Yeah, exactly.
Ash said, and I'm sure, if you got your memories back, you'll see that you weren't purposely trying to hurt King Janus. It doesn't matter if I did it on purpose or if it was all an accident. Though what happened to King Janus didn't seem like an accident the way High Commander Valdor told it.
You can fix it though. I'm sure you can look into a cure. Like, you know, like it's not like this is the end. Like there's still, you know, options.
Ash said, but Valdorians have always hated you. This High Commander could be lying. Ellipsis. Luthor shook his head and said softly, it doesn't matter. What matters is, I basically killed King Janus. High Commander Valdor said King Janus wants to die as soon as Princess Annalise assumes the throne. And I nearly killed Adriel Tybal. Ash said, but why do you have to cut out your counterpart? Luthor. Ash said, but why do you have to cut out your counterpart? You trust your counterpart and I've seen how happy you are when you have the pocket watch open.
Exactly, Ash! Exactly!
Luthor sighed. Alvin wants me to destroy Valdor. He's betting that I would give up Mom and Dad's lives, kill all the Valdorians, so I could join him. Luthor dug a nail into his palm and lowered his head. Luthor dug a nail into his palm and lowered his head. His hair covered his eyes.
Oh my gosh, I think I finally get where this is going, and I better not be correct.
And for the first time in my life, I can't see myself becoming the horrible person Alvin predicted I would be. Ash's shoulders slumped down. The two sat quietly for a bit. And the only thing I have to do, to become a horrible person, is beg him through the watch. Luthor squeezed his hands together, one hand squeezing around the watch. I just can't let that happen.
Okay, I was right. Guys, please, stand up for this, because, like, please, just comment down below, because, like, there's no way this is right. There's no way that this is right. Like, Luthor isn't capable of that. Like, closing the pocket watch, and I get where he's coming from now, right? I do get that this stops him from ever having the option, but still, like, I don't know, like, he isn't capable of it in the first place. I mean, I get where he's coming from, but, like...
Ash swallowed hard. I can't be around the watch if it's that easy. If I end up returning to my 13-year-old body somehow, our parents will die and I could potentially kill an empire of people, Ash. Whether or not it happens on purpose or an accident, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. Ash looked down at the watch and shivered. Ash looked down at the watch and shivered. Ash said, you don't talk about that much to me, brother, ellipsis. I've almost forgotten how easy it is to, ellipsis. Ash swallowed hard and said, I'm sorry you have to live with something like this, brother, ellipsis. I understand why you don't want to see the pocket watch again.
Yeah.
Luthor lowered his gaze. Well, the pocket watch will still find its way back to me from time to time, but Oliver will take it away from me if that happens. But yeah, I won't be opening the pocket watch again after I hand it over to Oliver.
Ever? Like, I know he said, but like, are you sure? Like, we're never gonna talk again. Really?
Luthor and Ash sat quietly for a while.
I don't know.
Ash said, I wish there was a way you could still talk to your counterpart.
Yeah,
ellipsis. But if this is what you want, then I support you, 100%. Brother, ellipsis.
I mean, I don't support you 100%, but I support you 99.9%, okay? Because I still want to talk, but I get where you're coming from, even if I don't think it's possible.
Ash said, I don't think you're capable of hurting others.
Exactly.
Brother, but I want you to feel better.
Yeah, true.
Ash said, if parting ways with the pocket watch can help, then do it. Ash said, if parting ways with the pocket watch can help, then do it. I just want you to be happy and healthy. Thanks, Ash. Ash looked at the pocket watch and said, please don't be angry at my brother. I can't see how hard this is for him.
I won't, trust me, I don't know. Like, he thinks it's best, and I do get where he's coming from. I'm not happy with it, but, like, it's... Okay.
Luthor glanced at Ash. Ash said, and thank you for watching over my brother. I promise I'll get stronger and take good care of him.
Oh, thanks anyway. Thanks, Ash.
Thank you, Ash.
Yeah, thank you.
Ash said, how soon is soon when you hand over the pocket watch, brother? Ash said, how soon is soon when you hand over the pocket watch, brother? Just soon, but I don't want to, just soon, but I don't want to think about that today. Luthor looked at the pocket watch. Today, I'm going to be asking Riley to move in with me to my home on Unity.
Oh my gosh, yes! That will be so amazing, yes!
I'm telling her about Alvin and what's been happening with me lately. This is a big day for me. I want to share it with you and Ash. Ash, this is a big day for me. I want to share it with you and Ash. I want you to know that I'm going to be okay. Ash said, you're ready to tell Riley? Luthor paused for a bit. I am. After meeting my counterpart, after meeting you, Ash, I realized how nice it is to have people who understand me. I want more people who understand me.
I mean, the last time you said those words, it went horribly wrong. But, like, I think Riley is quite reasonable. And it seems like you two do, like, genuinely know each other, like, quite a bit. Like, so I think and I hope that it does go well.
And I'm going to do my part and be open with Riley. Luthor smiled. I've always seen Riley as just the Princess of Valdor. But I want to see her as my childhood friend going forward.
That is so sweet.
Ash said, are you sure you want me there when you tell Riley everything? You and my counterpart are the only two people who know about Alvin and I want you both with me today. Ash nodded and said, okay. Ash nodded and said, okay. I'm going to do my best to support you, brother. System message, Luthor is waiting. Woohoo. I'm excited for you and Riley. Thank you for including me on this special day and I hope you have a good life. 1 of 4 risk. I have a feeling that this is not going to work out. These moments are just my memories, so I think the future I know when to destroy Valdor is still going to happen. 2 of 4 response. I see you're calling him King Janos. 3 of 4 I see you're calling him King. Why are you asking Riley to move in with you on Unity? Don't you two have a house in Lyal? 4 woohoo. I'm excited.
I'm gonna say the first one because, like, genuinely, I hope he does have a good life, right? Like, even
messages.
Like, if he doesn't talk to me, because I'm being selfish right now. If he doesn't talk to me, like, I hope, like, without the pocket watch, his life is genuinely way more fulfilled. Better? I don't know. I can't think of words today, but anyway, like, I hope his life is genuinely better without the pocket watch. Like, I hope he doesn't well, even if he does regret his actions, he could just get the watch back, but, like, I hope that he does have a fulfilling life, you know?
Thank you. I will always treasure the time we spent together.
Oh, thank you, me too.
I need to part ways with the pocket watch, but I'll never forget you. Ash smiled and said, you look relieved, brother. Does it mean you're... Ash smiled and said, you look relieved, brother. Does it mean your counterpart is okay? Luthor nodded. I think so. Ash's smile broadened. Ash's smile broadened. Ash looked at the pocket watch and said, thanks for everything you've done for my brother. I'll never forget you either.
Oh, thank you guys so much. Oh my god.
Ash began rubbing the scar. Is your scar hurting, Ash? Ash stopped rubbing the scar and said, no, I'm fine. Please don't worry about me, brother. After a moment, Ash winced and began rubbing the scar again.
Oh no.
Ash, I'm going to find a way to erase the pan of your scar. Ash's eyes widened. Something good did come out of seeing King Janos. I know now that my future self succeeded in memory deletion. I know now that my future self succeeded in memory deletion. Obviously he failed to get it completely right, but he did manage to delete King Janos' memory of Timecrests. I'm going to finish what he began. I'm going to finish what he began. I'm going to get it right and use memory deletion to erase your pain.
You're still gonna work on that after what you saw? I mean, I guess I can't blame him, right? Like, if he does it right and if he does manage to test it safely and make sure that it's safe, and then maybe, like, get rid of it afterwards to make sure that it does not fall into the wrong hands, I guess that's... I get where he's coming from. I just don't know if it's a great idea.
Ash fell silent. Ash fell silent. After a moment, Ash said, I don't want you to go through more trouble because of me. Ellipsis. Luthor shook his head. I do want to erase your pain, but this is also for me, Ash. I still feel guilty for being the one who caused your scar. Ash looked down at the scar. Ash looked down at the scar. After a moment, tears sprung into Ash's eyes.
Oh, what's the matter?
What's wrong, Ash? Ash said, it kind of sounds like you care about me, brother. Ellipsis. Luthor looked over at Ash and smiled. I'm beginning to care about you, Ash. I'm beginning to care about you, Ash. I'm beginning to see you as baby Ash.
Oh, yeah, that's actually so good. Yes! Oh my gosh, yes! Yes, now they both can genuinely, like, share good experiences together, be happy together, you know, like, have, like, that sibling love and everything. Oh my gosh, yes!
Ash swallowed hard. After a moment, Ash hugged Luthor.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Ash said, I'm sorry. I lied to you too. I pretended it was okay when you told me you didn't care about me. I understood what you were going through, but it still hurt so much and I was so scared you'd never care about me again.
No. I feel so bad now. Oh my god.
Ash's face is pressed into Luthor's shoulder. Ash's face is pressed into Luthor's shoulder. Ash's voice sounded muffled and Luthor could feel Ash crying.
Oh my gosh. Poor Ash, guys. Poor Ash.
Ash said, when did you know you cared about me, brother? Was it? Ash said, when did you know you cared about me, brother? Was it when I got hurt on the ice skate? It was when I saw you were okay at Dr. Crawford's. I felt so much relief and happiness, and in that moment I realized I did care for you, Ash.
Oh my gosh.
Ash fell quiet. After a while, Ash said, I've been having the same nightmares lately.
What?
Ash said, in it we both start running. We start out happy, but then you run faster and faster. I try to catch up, but you just get farther away until, ellipses, I can't see you anymore.
What? Oh my gosh, that's so sad.
Ash said, and I search for you and can't find you, ellipsis.
Oh my gosh.
Luthor dug a nail into his palm. I caused you so much pain, but things will be different now. I'm letting Alvin and the past go.
That is good to hear in a sense.
I'm going to focus on living my life with you and our family in this future. Ash's face is still buried into Luthor's shoulder. After a moment, Ash's head lifted. A big smile can be seen. After a moment, Ash's head lifted. A big smile can be seen. Ash said, I like the sound of that. I like it very much, brother. Jace's sister came out from behind the door again and approached Luthor and Ash. Jace's sister came out from behind the door again and approached Luthor and Ash. She is holding a white bag with a pink ribbon. Luthor and Ash smiled at each other before Luthor placed the pocket watch in his jacket pocket. Jace's sister said, my brother was very fond of this piece, so his goodbye was longer than usual. He apologizes for not coming to present the piece himself. Master Timecrest. He wants to catch up on the other orders. No worries. No worries. I don't want to make him fall behind on his other work any more than I already have. Jace's sister took out a bag of chocolates from the bag. She looked at Ash. Jace's sister took out a bag of chocolates from the bag. She looked at Ash and said, I just wanted to show you that the extra chocolates I packed are in this bag. The bag of chocolates are inside a clear bag that is neatly sealed with a ribbon that is embellished with a little jewel charm.
That is so fancy.
Ash said, oh, even the bag that the chocolate comes with is so cute.
Yeah.
Jace's sister smiled and placed the chocolates back into the bag. Jace's sister said, I'm going to take out the ring box from the bag so you can examine the ring, Master Timecrest. Luthor nodded. Luthor nodded. Ash looked on with excitement. Jace's sister took out the ring box and opened it. Jace's sister took out the ring box and opened it. Inside the box is a silver lily ring. She offered the ring box to Luthor to inspect.
Wow.
Luthor took out the ring and examined it. Luthor took out the ring and examined it. The center jewel, sparkling brilliantly, is surrounded by pink lily petals. The band of the ring looked like a stem and wrapped around the bottom of the ring. At the end of the band, several smaller jewels are embedded for additional sparkle.
Oh, that's so... I don't know, that sounds so, like, beautiful.
Jace's sister said, what do you think? It looks really good to me. I wanted a big jewel for lots of sparkle, but the ring still looks delicate. Jace's sister smiled and said, I'll be sure to let my brother know you like it, Master Timecrest. Jace's sister said, what do you think? She said, my brother tried hard to make sure the jewel has sparkle and even to more poor lighting.
Wow.
Ash looks entranced. Ash said, it's so pretty, ellipsis. I just hope Riley likes it. Ash said, I'm sure she'll love this, brother. Jace's sister said, lilies are the first flowers you gave Princess Riley. Right, Master Timecrest.
How does she know?
Yeah. How did you know?
Yeah.
Jace's sister said, Jace mentioned it to me.
Oh.
She touched the shell necklace her brother made for her. Jace's sister said, I think there's a real good chance Princess Riley will enjoy this ring, Master Timecrest.
Oh, she'll love it. I'm 99% sure she'll actually love that ring. Like, wow.
System message. Riley is going to love the ring.
Yeah.
Luthor. 1 of 3. What is Jace's sister's name? 2 of 3. Say nothing. Riley is going to love...
Riley is gonna love that ring. I'm really curious what her name is, though. Like, I would have said that, but I feel like...
Responded. Luthor smiled as he placed the ring back into the box. Descriptive help, but Luthor smiled as Jace's sister took the ring box from Luthor and carefully placed it back inside the bag with pink ribbon. Jace's sister took the ring box from Luthor and carefully placed it back inside the bag with pink ribbon. She handed the bag to Luthor. Thanks for everything.
Truly.
Please thank your brother for me too. Jace's sister nodded and said, no problem. We loved working with you and please think of us again if you need more gifts for Princess Riley, Master Timecrest.
Wow.
Luthor nodded and Jace's sister bowed and left. Descriptive. Luthor nodded and Jace's sister. Luthor took the ring box out of the bag and placed it into his other jacket pocket. He handed the bag over to Ash. Descriptive. Luthor took the ring box. Ash said, thanks, brother. I'm so excited to share these chocolates with A, C, and Allison.
They're literally gonna explode on the side of it, I swear.
Let's head back to Lyal. Let's head back to Lyal. Riley is getting ready there. And I need to make lunch for us. Ash pumped both fists into the air and said, sweet, I can't wait for your cooking, brother. Luthor squeezed the pocket watch. I hope you'll be there when I ask Riley to move in with me today.
I will. You can count on that.
Luthor closed the watch. System message. Connection lost. 59 minutes 52 seconds. System.
Okay. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. That went a little bit worse than I was expecting because, like, I don't know. I was not no matter what Luthor saw, I was not expecting him to just decide to give the pocket watch up entirely. As I said, I do get where he's coming from, and if he feels happier not having the pocket watch nearby, even though I really don't think he's capable of doing what he thinks he is, like, even if he is, like, if it makes him happier to have the pocket watch, gone, then, I guess I can respect that, So, yeah, I don't know. Let's see what happens at this, what's it called? Proposal, basically? And I really hope Riley does like that ring, because, oh my gosh, yes.
Luthor and Ash sat in the living room of the Lyal house. Riley came down the stairs and stood before them. She wore a light, blue gradient sundress with a straw belt and straw wedge sandals. The hem of the dress was decorated with a white cloud pattern.
Oh wow, fancy!
Riley's long locks of hair cascaded over her shoulders and, on one side, her hair was dotted with tiny white and blue flowers.
Oh wow!
Riley wore a bracelet over her wrist where her Valdorian tattoo is. Luthor looked at Riley. He froze and blushed a little. Riley caught Luthor's gaze and blushed too.
Okay, so, on looking back, I noticed how much, the video was echoing again, which I'm really sorry. But because of that, I had to change my setup slightly, so hopefully this is better.
Luthor and Ash sat in the living room of the Lyal house. Riley came down the stairs and stood before them. She wore a light, blue gradient sundress with a straw belt and straw wedge sandals. The hem of the dress... She wore a light, blue gradient sundress with a straw belt and straw wedge sandals. The hem of the dress was decorated with a white cloud pattern.
Oh wow, that sounds fancy.
Riley's long locks of hair cascaded over her shoulders and, on one side, her hair was dotted with tiny white and blue flowers.
Oh wow, that is actually so nice.
Riley wore a bracelet over her wrist where her Valdorian tattoo is. Luthor looked at Riley. He froze and blushed a little. Riley caught Luthor's gaze and blushed too. Riley said, what did you have in mind for, ellipsis, our date today, Luthor? She sounded shy and excited all at once. I made lunch for all of us.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Riley clapped her hands together and said, you cooked, Luthor. I'm looking forward to eating what you made. Let me just go get it before we head out. Luthor paused. You look really nice, Riley.
Aw.
Riley blushed. Ash grinned. Luthor rushed into the kitchen. He stood in front of a picnic basket where he stored the food. He placed both hands on the kitchen counter and took a deep breath. Luthor whispered, this is my first date with a girl, woman.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I hope it goes well anyway.
I'm feeling nervous.
Yeah, understandably.
I wonder how she's going to react when she finds out she's engaged to a 13-year-old.
Yeah, that'll be an awkward conversation. Yeah.
Luthor took another deep breath. But I'm going to do my best and be honest with Riley.
That is good, though. Like, even if she doesn't take it very well, at least you will have been honest instead of, like, lying to her for, like, years or something, right? So, like, I think you are definitely doing the right thing.
System message. Luthor is... It'll be okay, Luthor. Just be yourself and remember that you've known Riley forever. One of two... Are you going to tell her you love her? 2 of 2 responses. It'll be okay, Luthor. Just be yourself. Are you going...
I guess I'll tell him, like, the first one because it's, like, you know, I feel like he needs... at least he'd like to hear advice in this moment, probably.
It'll be okay. responded, "It'll be okay, Luthor." Luthor nodded. "You're right. Riley is my friend."
Mm-hmm.
Luthor smiled. "So I hope she'll go easy on me."
I'm sure she will.
Luthor grabbed a basket and headed out of the kitchen. Descriptive. Riley said, "Ash, what's in that pretty bag?" Riley said, "Ash, what's in that pretty bag?"
It's a secret.
Riley is looking at the white bag Ash is carrying that held the jewelry store's chocolates. Ash said, "Oh, this?" Ash said, "Oh, this?" Ellipsis.
Oh
Ash
my
looks
gosh.
flustered as Ash said, "This is, ellipsis. Ellipsis.
Oh my gosh.
I got a gift for you, Riley." Ash and Riley both looked at Luthor.
Oh,
Ash looked
being
relieved
very
while Riley
honest
looked
there.
surprised.
You're being very honest there, Luthor.
Descriptive help. Ash was with me when I went to pick up your gift. Ash and Riley both looked at Luthor. Ash was with me when I went to pick up your gift and the store owner's sister gave us some chocolates. I have your gift on me, but the chocolates are still in that bag. Riley blinked and said, "Luthor, ellipsis." She blushed and said, "You got a gift for me?"
Oh, you have no idea.
Luthor nodded with a smile. "I was planning to give it to you a little later, but..." Luthor took out the ring box from his jacket pocket and handed it to Riley.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Riley took the box and opened it. She covered her mouth as she saw the lily ring inside. The ring caught the light in the room and sparkled. Descriptive help. She covered her mouth as she... The jewelry crafter I worked with guessed your ring size from a picture. If it doesn't fit, I can't get it adjusted. Riley took the ring out of the box and put it on. It fit perfectly.
Oh, wow.
"Do you like it, Riley?" Riley stood in silence for a moment before she said, "I love it. Ellipsis. Thank you, Luthor."
Oh, this is so, like, nice to see, basically. Like, it's just so wholesome.
Riley smiled up at Luthor and said, "I have a gift for you too, Luthor."
Oh?
Riley walked over to a cabinet in the living room and opened the drawer. She fetched out a box and handed it to Luthor. Luthor's eyes widened as he opened the box and saw an old master card. He flipped the box over and a stack of cards came out.
What?
"You repaired my old collection of master cards."
She actually did that? That's so nice of her. Oh my gosh.
The places where the cards were ripped can still be seen, but the cards are all in one piece now.
Wow. That must have taken ages.
Riley said, "I knew how much the collection meant to you as a kid. I was a little surprised the day you tore them up, so I held onto the pieces." Riley said, "But then you asked about them recently, so I thought maybe you regretted tearing them up." Luthor placed the cards back into the box. Riley peered up at Luthor and said, "You did want the cards back, right, Luthor?" Riley, "Thank you so much for repairing my old collection of cards." Vertical scroll. Riley, "Thank you so much for repairing my old collection of cards. It was very thoughtful of you to save all the pieces and it must have taken a lot of effort to piece together all the ripped cards." Riley smiled and said, "It's no trouble at all. But I want to be honest with you, Riley. I wasn't looking for these cards back."
Oh no. Oh my gosh, no. This is gonna be awkward.
Riley cringed and Ash shot Luthor a supportive look. "I asked about them recently because I had a bad meeting with the masters and I actually wanted to tear them up again." Riley looked disappointed. She said, "Oh, ellipsis. I guess I misread you."
Oh no, I feel really bad though. She went through all that effort.
"I do appreciate the gesture, Riley. But I don't want to lie to you and tell you I wanted the cards back when that's not the truth."
I mean, he is honest, but somewhat brutally honest. I'm gonna be honest. Too many honests.
Riley lowered her gaze.
Oh my gosh, I feel bad.
After a moment, she smiled back up at Luthor. After a moment, she smiled back up at Luthor. Riley said, "Thank you for being honest with me, Luthor. I really appreciate that."
Oh, thank goodness. I was actually worried, but like, I'm glad she's not too upset.
Riley said, "I hope we can be open with each other always, ellipsis." Luthor smiled and nodded. Ash gave a small silent cheer from the sidelines.
Oh my
Riley
gosh.
said, "I'm so excited for our date today, Luthor. Where are we heading?" Luthor offered his hand to Riley. "Do you trust me, Riley?" Riley placed her hand in his and said, "Of course I do." System message. Luthor's teleporting Riley and Ash.
Oh,
Luthor, Riley and Ash faced nearby a flower field outside of Lyal.
okay.
Luthor took a moment and looked over all the flowers again, his expression serene. Lilies, tulips, bellflowers, hyacinth, marigolds, even the prickly flowers. All of these flowers here are ones I gave you at one point in time.
Oh my gosh. How did he find a place like that? That's actually amazing. Oh my word. Wow. How does he... A, he remembered all of that. And then B, he actually, like, found a place like that. That's amazing.
Riley blushed and said, you noticed. Ellipsis. She said, I wanted to create something beside our home that combines both the beauty that the human world and Elincia has to offer us. Yeah, I see flowers native to Elincia here too. Ash stood off to the side, letting Luthor and Riley have their moment. Riley looked at Ash and said, why are you standing so far away from us, Ash? Come Riley looked at Ash and said, why are you standing so far away from us, Ash? Come closer. Ash said, oh, please don't mind me, Ellipsis. I don't want to get in the way or anything.
Oh my gosh, Ash must feel so awkward right now.
Riley said, you're never in the way, Ash. We're a family.
Aww.
I want to share all my life's moments with you and Luthor.
That's so sweet.
Luthor pulled out a blanket from the picnic basket in his hand and laid it out on the ground beside the flower field. The trio sat down. Luthor took out 3 griffin egg sandwiches from his basket and handed one over to Riley and another to Ash.
Ah, yes, griffin egg sandwiches. Poor Ash though, like Ash doesn't like griffin eggs, so
Riley looked down at the sandwich and said, there's another reason I started planting all these flowers. Luthor, ellipsis. Oh, what is it? Riley kept her gaze lowered on the sandwich. She said, you always gave me flowers in planters while my other suitors just pulled them out of the ground. Riley looked up at Luthor and smiled. She said, I love that gentle, kind side of you, Luthor Timecrest. Luthor paused before he smiled. Let's eat. Riley nodded and took a bite into her sandwich. The ring on Riley's finger dazzled in the sunlight.
Wow.
Riley said, oh, this is seasoned so perfectly and the eggs are so fluffy. It's delicious. Did you make it yourself? I did, but it tastes a little colder than I would have liked. Riley shook her head and said, I love it, Luthor. How did you get the eggs to be so fluffy? Riley shook her head and said, I love it, Luthor. How did you get the eggs to be so fluffy? My eggs either turn out hard or...
Oh my gosh.
Riley shook her head and said, I love it, Luthor. How did you get the eggs to be so fluffy? My eggs either turn out hard or slimy, ellipsis.
Oh my gosh.
I whipped them a lot before I started cooking them. That makes them extra fluffy. Riley nodded at Luthor's every word. She said, I see. I tend to stop whipping when my arms get tired. But cooking is like magic. You have to keep going even when you're tired or you can't perfect it.
Wow, yeah.
Ash had already started eating the sandwich. Ash said, this is so good, brother, ellipsis.
Even Ash likes it. That is some achievement, Luthor.
Riley said, when did you have time to learn how to cook, Luthor? I picked up a few things from watching my mom. When I was a kid, my mom would insist I sit beside her when she was cooking. She wanted to make sure I ate a good meal once in a while. I started paying attention to how she made things because her cooking smelled really good.
Wow. Well, that is fair, yeah.
Luthor closed his eyes momentarily and smiled before opening his eyes. Riley said, you seem to be remembering something good, Luthor. Riley said, you seem to be remembering something good, Luthor. She smiled. Luthor nodded. My days of watching Mom cook helped me know what to do when I tried cooking stuff I wanted to eat myself. Riley took another bite of the sandwich before saying, you never told me that story. Riley took another bite of the sandwich before saying, you never told me that story. I like it. The trio enjoyed the rest of their sandwiches. A gentle breeze blew through the flower field and mild fragrances and petals wafted through the air, surrounding the trio. Riley said, I wish every day could be this peaceful together, Luthor, ellipsis. I just want to be able to share food with you like this, ellipsis.
It sounds absolutely amazing. Like the flowers and everything and just yes.
Riley paused before saying, but sometimes I feel like I'm losing you. Riley said, and that makes me so scared. I'm not going anywhere, Riley. And I promise that we'll have all of this. Peace, food and more. Riley said, I'm satisfied with everything we have, Luthor. I'm just so happy right now.
That's good.
Luthor looked at Riley. Are you open to moving into a different house with me, Riley?
Okay. Popping the big question.
Riley's eyes widened. She said, are you not happy with our current house, Luthor? Is that why you haven't been home lately? The house we have is nice, but I want to live in a house that is more modern. Riley nodded and said, I'm comfortable with our living situation now, but I'm happy to move into any house you want to live in as long as we can afford it. She said, I love Lyal, but I don't mind if we move elsewhere either, Luthor. As long as I'm with you then I'm home.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Luthor nodded with a smile. I have something to ask you. Riley said, what is it, Luthor? I'll ask you soon. We can enjoy the flower field some more. Riley smiled and said, Luthor, You can't just keep me in suspense like that. Can you tell me what you wanted to ask me? Luthor paused before smiling back. Okay, but I want to take you there first. He got up and offered his hand to Riley. We can come back for the basket and blanket later. Riley grinned, took Luthor's hand, and said, I will go wherever you go, Luthor.
Okay.
System message, Luthor's teleporting Riley and Ash to Unity. Luthor, Riley and Ash phased in front of his building in Unity. Riley blinked as the shadow of Luthor's building fell over her. She retracted her hand from Luthor's. System message, Luthor is waiting.
That's not a great sign.
It's not a good sign. Riley pulled back her hand. Luthor.
Yeah.
1 of 2 responsive.
Yeah.
Say nothing. 2 of 2
I don't know. I don't want to ruin his day, though, so I'm gonna say nothing.
Say nothing. 2.
It could be nothing, you know, right?
Responded. Descriptive help. Responded. Let's go up to the 3rd floor. There's something I want to ask you there. Riley furrowed her brows and said, There's a 3rd floor. Yeah. The walls and ceiling are made with super transparent glass. The view is amazing. Come on. I want to show you and Ash. Luthor motioned for Riley to follow him, but she didn't move.
That's not good.
Riley said, Why did you bring me here, Luthor? Luthor narrowed his eyes. You sound upset. Riley said, Why are we here?
What? Is she okay?
I wanted to ask you to move in with me to my home on Unity. Riley paused. She said, Our home is in Lyal. My lab is set up here, so I'm in this building a lot. I just want you to be where I am, Riley. Riley covered her face and shook her head. Riley said, I can't believe you're doing this to me, Luthor. I trusted you. You said.
What?
Her voice broke and she repeated, I trusted you.
What happened? I'm so confused. What could make her so upset that, like, she shown this house and then she's just like, no? What?
Ash, who had been silently staying out of the way, swallowed hard. I don't understand why you're suddenly so upset, Riley.
Yeah, what?
Just moments ago, I asked you about moving into another house and you said you're fine as long as we're together. Riley let her hands drop to her side. Riley said, How much did this 3rd floor cost to build, Luthor?
Why is it that important?
Luthor blinked. Why does it matter how much it costs?
Yeah.
Riley said, How much do you owe Solidness now, Luthor?
Is this how he owes Sol? What?
Luthor breathed in. I know I owe Sol a lot, but I will find a way to pay it all off. I'll finish the Infinity patches and start selling those. I don't like owing gold to Sol either. Riley said, You promised me that you wouldn't add any more floors to this building and now I find out there's a 3rd floor. You told me you were done pushing the boundaries. Ellipsis. Riley paused and swallowed hard. Riley said, You told me never to visit you on Unity because you needed a place where you can have some solitude. And I believed every word you said to me. Ellipsis. Riley said, Is this the reason you've been acting weird lately? Luthor's expression softened. He took out the pocket watch. Riley, there's something I need to tell you.
Yeah, this isn't the time. I don't think that's a good idea.
It's going to sound unbelievable, but please hear me out. It's going to sound unbelievable, but please hear me out. It'll explain why I've been acting strangely recently. Riley eyed the pocket watch in Luthor's hand. Her expression changed as she recognized the watch. Riley said, Why is that thing open? I'm just saying goodbye to my counterpart, a human from the human world, who I have been talking with. Riley backed away from the watch and Luthor, her head shaking. She said, You, Ellipsis, you're talking to the pocket watch, Ellipsis. I'm going to give up the pocket watch after today, Riley. Riley said, I don't believe you. I don't believe you, Luthor. Not anymore.
What's up with her? What? I don't get where she's coming from at all.
Riley, please listen, Ellipsis. Riley said, No, that night, Ellipsis, on top of the Sovereign Eye, Ellipsis. Riley said, You told me that the first human took over my mind using that watch, Luthor. He forced me to try to kill you. Riley said, You told me that the first human took over my mind using that watch, Luthor. He forced me to try to kill you. That feeling, Ellipsis. She clutched her chest. Riley said, No matter how hard, I can't forget it, Ellipsis. Not even after all these years. I'm sorry I let the first human get to you, Riley. Riley said, Did he take over your mind too, Luthor? Is that why you're talking to the watch right now? What the first human did to you that night is unforgivable. I understand why you're afraid, Riley. But please hear me out.
Yeah, listen to what he has to say. Like, it's important. Like, you were just saying how much you trusted Luthor and all. Like, come on, listen to what he has to say before making any decision.
Riley gasped. She said, was the watch open all this time? During our picnic just now. Inside our home. Luthor. Luthor took a deep breath before nodding. Riley covered her mouth. Luthor took a step towards Riley and she raised her hand and pushed him away. Luthor
Oh my
stepped back and
God.
looked at Riley. Ash said, Riley, ellipsis, let my brother explain.
Please.
Riley looked at Ash. Her eyes widened, just remembering Ash was there as well. Riley looked at Ash. Her eyes widened, just remembering Ash was there as well. Riley stepped in between Ash and Luthor. Riley said, Ash, stay behind me. Get that watch away from us, Luthor.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I get she's scared of the watch, but like...
Ash came out from behind Riley and said, Riley, ellipsis, please just let my brother explain.
Please.
Ellipsis.
Just hear what he has to say.
Riley said, no, you don't understand, Ash. That watch is linked to an evil person, ellipsis.
Ash understands that.
Riley looked at Luthor and said, I've always felt that there is a darkness inside you that propels you to do dangerous and horrible things. Luthor, ellipsis. That's why you go back to the watch.
Why would you say that? Oh my word.
She said, but let me help you fight the darkness inside you. Luthor dug a nail into his palm and looked at Riley. Ash's eyes widened. Ash's eyes widened. Ash said, how could you say that, Riley?
Exactly.
You really think my brother is capable of doing horrible things?
Yeah. What is wrong with you? Well, no offense, but like, come on. Like, you know this person and you what?
It's okay, Ash. Riley is right.
She's
I have done
not
horrible
right.
things. With a shake of the head, Ash said, this doesn't feel right.
Exactly. Yeah, it does not. Like, come on, Ash. Like, just listen to sense, you two. What?
Ash left Riley's side. Ash left Riley's side. Riley grabbed onto Ash's arm and said, Ash, stay close to me. Ash pulled out of Riley's grasp and walked to stand beside Luthor. Ash said, you said we're family, Riley. Family are supposed to support each other.
Yeah.
How can you think such bad things about my brother?
Exactly.
Riley winced. Ash, thanks, but I want you to stay out of this. Ash's gaze lowered and Luthor looked back at Riley. I'm going to give up the pocket watch to Oliver at the end of the day.
Yeah.
He'll watch over it and make sure I never open it again.
Exactly.
I'm sorry about what happened on the Sovereign Eye. Is there anything I can do to make it up to you? Riley paused. Riley paused. She swallowed hard before she clenched a fist to her heart. Riley paused. She swallowed hard before she clenched a fist to her heart. She said, I'm sorry to ask you to do this, Luthor, but if you want me to trust you again, you have to destroy this building on Unity.
What? How would that? Why is that a good thing? Why would you want him to do that? He put so much work into that.
Luthor's eyes widened. He balled his hands up into fists. I can't do that. I still need the lab to find a way to cure the pan of Ash's scar.
Yeah. What?
Riley gulped and said, you're not thinking of continuing your research on memory deletion, are you? You know about that? Riley said, no one ever told me anything, but I pieced together some of the puzzle myself. I knew you were thinking of memory deletion as a way to help Ash. And... She said, I knew you were thinking of memory deletion as a way to help Ash. Then my father released humans from the quarantine zone suddenly. Shortly afterwards, High Commander Valdor told me my father fell ill and restricted me from seeing him anymore. And you never talked about my father again. She said, Luthor, ellipsis, did you use memory deletion on my father? Luthor paused before nodding. I'm sorry, Riley. I'm sorry, Riley. I visited your father recently. Riley's eyes widened. Riley's eyes widened. She said, how is he doing? Luthor shook his head and lowered his gaze. Not well. He wants High Commander Valdor to kill him after Princess Annalise ascends the throne. Luthor took a deep breath and looked up at Riley. I'm so sorry, Riley. Riley said, it's okay. I've already decided to forgive you for anything you did to my father. My father made a mistake too when he decided to persecute humans. Riley said, but Luthor, promise me you'll stop researching memory deletion and destroy your lab. Please stop. Riley said, but Luthor, promise me you'll stop researching memory deletion and destroy your lab. Please stop pushing boundaries that aren't meant to be crossed. Luthor eyed Riley in silence for a moment. I'd be lying to you if I said I was going to stop researching memory deletion. But you can be a part of my whole process, Riley. I'll tell you everything I'm doing and I promise no one else will get hurt because of this research. But you can be a part of my whole process, Riley. I'll tell you everything I'm doing and I promise no one else will get hurt because of this research. I promise I'll get it right. Do you trust me, Riley? Riley backed away from Luthor. Riley said, when I found out why you were so upset after my father fell ill, all I could think about was how to help the good man I fell in love with recover from his mistake. Riley said, a mistake, which I thought you felt very sorry for. Riley said, but, ellipsis, now I know, ellipsis, that your, ellipsis, that your, ellipsis.
What is she talking? He is still upset about that mistake. He's not happy that he did that. You think that he's happy that he made Janos basically go insane? Like, what do you think that Luthor is happy about any of this? What?
Riley said, a monster. And I'm a woman who can't stop loving a monster like you.
Okay, that is too far. That is too far. What is wrong with her?
Ash-eyed Riley with anger. Riley said, and that makes me a monster too.
Just go away already. Like, oh my gosh. You're literally a horrible person. Why would you say that to someone you, say that you love? Like, that's, what?
Luthor grimaced. I am so sorry for what I did to your father, Riley. Riley said, I forgave you for my father already. Riley said, what I can't forgive is that you're apologizing to me even though it seems you're willing to make a similar mistake again.
He's not willing to make a mistake though. He literally said that he's gonna make sure no one else gets hurt. Why do you not trust him at all? Like, what?
Riley said, we have a comfortable and peaceful life. We can work to pay off your debts eventually. I'll do as much as I can to help out. I just want us to eat good food, laugh about things together and be each other's companion. Riley paused before saying, so stop wasting your time trying to build things that change this world and just live in it.
And you what? Like, sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes people suffer, and there's a way to fix that. And even if the way Luthor is going around this is dangerous, right? I don't think that it's with ill intent at all. Like, I don't think. It isn't with ill intent. Like, Luthor's just trying to help, and you're just like, oh no. You're a horrible person. Like, why? What is wrong with you?
Luthor dug a nail into his palm. He glared at Riley. You think being myself is a waste of time, Riley? I want everything you said. I want to eat good food, laugh about things and be your companion. But I also want more. I want to change the world because it makes me feel alive. I want to change the world because it makes me feel alive. When I'm exploring the unknown, I feel fear, happiness, excitement. I just feel alive. I want to change the world because it makes me feel alive. When I'm exploring the unknown, I feel fear, happiness, excitement. I just feel alive. Can't you try to understand that? Riley said, we are alive, Luthor. We are alive right now. Riley pulled the lily ring off her finger and held it out to Luthor. She said, this ring is made by Jason and Al, right? I recognize the craftsmanship. She said, return it and get your gold back.
Wow. She's just disregarding every nice gesture now. You know, she's being like, oh yeah, Luthor should be a nicer person. Luthor should just, like, give up all his dreams. This, like, you're not helping in any way, Riley. You're just like, stop doing what you're doing.
Screen dimmed.
And nothing. Like, you're not giving him any suggestions on how to be better. Any suggestions about how to fill his days apart from doing what he's doing. You're just like, no, stop. Like, this guy, what is he supposed to do if all you're doing is just saying stop and not giving him any other options? Like, imagine someone told you to just stop caring about flowers or something, right? Like, it's just not possible.
I thought you said you liked the ring. Riley said, what were you thinking, Luthor? You owe Sol so much gold. Return the ring. Luthor shook his head and looked away from Riley. You should leave, Riley. Riley's eyes widened. She said, you're not coming with me? I'm staying here.
Yeah, you're surprised he's not coming with you? Are you kidding me?
Riley clutched her head with both hands. Riley said, I just don't get it. I don't understand this side of you that wants to break rules even if it means hurting others. Why?
It doesn't mean
Luthor,
hurting others.
Why do you do that? Why can't the Luthor that gives me flowers and a plan to fight against the darker side of you?
It's not a darker side. All he wants to do is help. Things have gone wrong. He didn't mean to hurt people. Things have gone wrong. That's not happened. Not him wanting to hurt people.
She shook her head and said, why can't you change, Luthor?
No one can change who they are, Riley.
Luthor looked back at Riley. It's because the life you live is not enough for me, Riley. Riley looked at Luthor with shock and horror as she took a few steps back. Luthor looked away from Riley. I didn't mean. Riley said, I thought when you became a master, ellipses, I thought things were going to be different. Isn't being a... Riley said, I thought when you became a master, ellipses, I thought things were going to be different. Isn't being a master enough to make you happy? What more do you want? Look around, Riley. Look around, Riley. We live in a world that's gifted with magic and technology. It'll be a sin. It's our duty to push the boundaries of what we're given. We could go to other worlds one day. We could revive our loved ones. We could alter the fabric of time itself. Riley swallowed hard and looked around. She said, all I see is you, Luthor. Why can't you see me too? Why can't you see your mom and dad? Why can't you see Ash? Ash's mouth opened, but Luthor stopped Ash. Riley said, don't you see that our duty is to protect everything we love and not risk anything that would hurt the people and things we love? I see that you're about to cry, Riley. Are you sure that you see me? Do you even have the slightest idea what I'm thinking? How I feel, ever? Riley covered her face. I don't want to make you cry, Riley. Riley said, you're wrong about me this time. I'm not going to cry. Riley said, you're wrong about me this time. I'm not going to cry. I just can't look at you anymore. Riley lowered her hands and turned her head away from Luthor. She said, what if the people you hurt are your own parents the next time one of your experiments goes wrong?
It's not his fault his experiments go wrong. I swear, what she's saying is that Luthor doesn't care if one of his experiments goes wrong and hurts people, basically. That's exactly what she's saying. And she's wrong. Like, people have been hurt in the past, but it's been a complete and
mistake. Like...
Riley said, what if you end up hurting, Ash? You have no idea, Riley, what I've been through recently and the things I'm willing to endure to make sure I don't hurt me. You have no idea, Riley, what I've been through recently and the things I'm willing to endure to make sure I don't hurt my parents or anyone else.
Yeah, Riley, like, stop acting like you know everything Luthor has been through and exactly what it's like for him. You're being so freaking controlling, like, what?
Riley said, then why did you build this third floor when you're already in so much debt, Luthor? She said, what happens when we can't pay off the bills for your father's treatment? She said, what happens when we can't pay off the bills for your father's treatment? Are you going to forsake your own father so you can change the world?
What? Oh my gosh. And also, the thing with the debt, like, she's just assuming that he's not going to be able to pay it back. Like, does she have any idea how well his infinity pouches are said to sell? And she's still just like, no.
Luthor looked at Riley. His face shocked. Luthor looked at Riley. His face shocked. Ash looked shocked too. What did you say about my father? Riley said, your father is sick. Riley looked at Ash and swallowed hard. She said, I'm sorry that you had to find out this way, Ash, but your mom didn't really want either of you to know.
Oh, you're sorry for Ash, but not for Luthor? You think he has no feelings now? Like, what is wrong with you?
Riley looked back at Luthor and dropped the ring down in front of him. She said, you need to get your gold back. You need to grow up, Luthor.
Yeah, grow up, says the one who's literally being really controlling and immature right now.
Riley phased away. Luthor dropped to his knees and panted. Dad. Ash said, I can't believe what's happening. Ellipsis. Our dad is sick. Luthor closed the pocket watch. System message. Connection lost. 3 hours, 36 minutes, 0 seconds.
Okay, I'll have to end things off here. I'm shocked. That was, like, the worst experience ever. Like, Riley seemed so sweet as well. Like, what? I've never expected that at all. Like, what is wrong with her? What is physically wrong with her mentally? Why would she say stuff like that? And then be like, oh yeah, like, she has such little belief in the person that she, like, they were literally, like, was gonna be basically her fiance. Like, she was just like, oh no, you can't do this, you can't do that. You should stop believing in everything you believe in. Oh, go ahead. Like, no one's asking her to do that.
3 hours.
And, like, she's just sitting there like, oh yeah, I'm happy. You can just be depressed while I'm happy here. Like, I don't know, guys. I don't know. But, I guess if you want to see what happens next time, subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss, our, like, updates to our channel, new videos, basically. We post them every week. And, yeah, see you guys next time. Bye.